ripping shit, tearing it, imperative. Then I'm killing this mic no matter where I live. These derelict rappers acting the fool, this embarrassing, is flagrant. That's the nature of this entertainment, and we can't even change it. Guilty before arraignment, now the system tainted. But when we speak, they all laugh at us. And y'all wonder why I'm lacking trust. Try to fight a giant with attorneys that can back them up. That's church versus science, both sides start acting up. I'm late on my assignment, hopping up a mile high, climbing, obviously never silent. New alignment, I'm defined, cannot describe it. Used to describe it as a young graffiti artist. Before the beard, I always got carded. Hit every bar, even though my bar's been the hardest. The scars on my face said I ain't always been the smartest, but I'll show you where my heart is. I said I'll show you where my heart is. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, even if the beat stops, my soul will not leave. If I never stood tall, nobody will ever see. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, even if the beat stops, my soul will not leave. If I never stood tall, nobody will ever see. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, I can show you where my...
The type of guy that would ride with the breeze. I'm higher than most people, I'm cold and icicle freeze. I'm liking to Mike Tyson, I'm a bison, a beast. I'm high like Jamaica, like right by the beach. My pops is from a spot where they're fighting for peace. 8 years old, out there watching people fight in the streets. All these sirens only make the violence increase. Yeah, we're still not loving police. It's that bright young American, nice, dumb, arrogant. Tight on a mic, but he might need a therapist. Heart full of kerosene, head full of fairy tales. Said that you're my homie, you don't know me, but I know you very well. Roll back on some West Coast shit. This whole track is wetter than your dress code kiss. About to hit the track, running on some retro fit. It gets so lit, I guess so, bitch, now let's go.
I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, even if the beat stops, my soul will not leave. If I never stood tall, nobody...
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday. What's up, buddy? How's it going? Got from my boy Pinky hanging out. Little sports.
What's going on, my brother?
Action coming to you live.
Finishing up some Four Roses, and then I got some Buffalo Trace.
Nice.
I found it at the store for like $28. I was like, yes, please.
Yep. Solid.
Like, you can't
Very
beat
solid.
that.
That's what I'm drinking tonight, actually, is a little BT.
Perfect. What do we how was your weekend, my friend?
Good. Didn't do much. Feel like we did things. No, ran some errands. It was the oldest 21st, so kind of just had a chill soul at home. He didn't really want to do anything, so okay. But yeah, it was just a good, relaxing weekend. Weekend where I didn't have to do anything for a change. That hasn't happened in a while.
That is always a good thing.
What about you? How was your weekend?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. The Friday, picked the wife up from the airport. Kind of had a relaxing day. Saturday, we stayed up and watched that Colorado football game that went to like midnight. I think I'm still catching up sleep from that, man.
Yeah, I heard it went to like 12:30. I passed out at some point on the couch. I don't really know when. I'm guessing halftime is my guess is when I fell asleep.
Yep.
But yeah, I woke up to that outcome. It was quite the surprise, to say the least.
It was a total like just endurance test, and it was crazy, man. It was crazy. So
yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit.
That's about it, really. It's like, and then football Sunday. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we're in football season, so if football is on, we're probably watching it. So
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, Saturday. Well, my wife knows once fall rolls around, it's Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and there could be a random Tuesday, maybe a Wednesday or a Friday, possibly. It's hard to say. But it's on a lot. It's on a lot.
My wife's playing fantasy, and she's still got money in her DraftKings account, so she's literally she's involved.
Nice.
She's doing it. So yeah, it was like we don't plan. We basically just really don't go and do anything during football season, which is probably a good thing because it saves us a little bit of money.
Yeah, for sure. There's something there that you can keep entertained with and save a little bit of money, and it's all going to get spent as soon as football season's over.
Right. That is true.
Oh, goodness. Well, if that's all you got for your weekend, and mine was nonchalantly boring, what world of sports things do you have to discuss? Obviously, we'll do NFL. So, that's what we do, but
I want to touch on something. The hype of CU brought ESPN programming in Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Like they were here Friday morning. They did all their shows. The McAfee show was from Boulder Set with
First Take, College Game Day. Yeah, they did a whole shebang.
And I'm not going to deal with that just yet. But because they had The Rock on Friday, and I'm so sad that I missed it because now I'm like, damn, I should have gone. He was at SmackDown Friday night because SmackDown was in Denver as well.
Yes, it was. And yes, he did.
So who brought that together?
McAfee.
Dion did.
Well, yeah.
Because if the hype wasn't there, McAfee wouldn't have been there. And then McAfee's not at SmackDown. The Rock obviously is not working right now with the actor's strike. So he had time, and then he was able to make it to SmackDown. And John Cena was there too.
Yep.
We got to see The Rock throw a people's elbow on Austin Theory.
Yes, he did.
Who doesn't like that?
Think about this. McAfee has now been told by Stone Cold and The Rock to do their signature move. Now, the first one didn't end so well for McAfee in the end. He got to do the finishing move. He got to have a beer. And then he got the finishing move done to him.
Right.
He got stunned real bad. But then with the Rock had him do the people's elbow, and then they're buddies. So they kind of chilled, hung out, raised their hands in the air, and then left. So a little bit better ending this time for old Pat.
Right. That's just cool, man. I just like that's what's going on at CU led to that. That was a great moment. I had we had our buddy Eric was there with his lady Carrie, and they've got pictures. They're even on like the YouTube restream of SmackDown. You can see them cheering and having a good time.
Nice.
So
nice.
Great experience. Sad I missed it, but Cody, it'll be awesome. WWE events are great. I need to get to one. It's been a long time since I've been to one. So, but I just wanted to talk about that. And I guess that kind of leads into college football. And this is probably good planning by ESPN to come into town this last weekend, because I mean, the reels are probably going to fall off the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's not looking great with what's coming up.
So they took great advantage of the hype train, and then ESPN does good things when it comes to the hype train.
So we'll see. I fully expected to see CU cover the spread in this game. Like that's honestly what I thought was going to happen. Like a huge blowout.
I wanted no part of that spread.
And that did not happen. They almost lost. Travis Hunter is going to be out for 3 weeks minimum. Had a lacerated liver from that late
that's
hit.
Been a
illegal
pretty
hit.
Pretty big. It was controversial.
Controversial, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, for some people, I'm like, Was it dirty? I don't know if it was dirty. It was definitely not a hit that you should be doing.
It
Like,
looked kind of dirty.
and I
He
think
lowered
Coach
right into his midsection. I mean,
with
you know he saw the ball hit the ground and then was
Right.
like, and I'm gonna lay him out now.
right. I think it's dirty in my opinion. I think you could say he was trying to. I mean, the ball was not even close. He just goes and hits him.
I'm not gonna say the kid's a dirty player, but that was a dirty play. Like it
Right,
just was.
right.
Like that. There's just that just is what
And-
it is.
You know, I was so angry over the weekend as we had some folks commenting on our Facebook page, and one of the ignorant posts was just like the guy was happy that the guy did that.
That it was
which-
a deserved hit.
It didn't make any sense. Now I understand if you don't like Dion, you don't like his culture, you think he's a thug or whatever, like that's fine. But that tells me you're ignorant and not listening. Because like Dion's even said it. Am I excited we're 2-0? Sure. What I'm really excited about is we've got the highest GPA of any Colorado football team since the football program's been around. He's like, that's never happened. We have the highest. So whatever he's doing on the field, it's also helping those kids off the field and in their studies. So
People, I don't understand the hate for Dion personally. Do you pay attention to what he's really doing? Actions speak louder than words, kind of thing. He's never badmouthed another coach or player or team.
But I mean, let's be honest. During his primetime days, I could see certain people not being okay with, Dion was all about him and he was all about the flash, and that wasn't for some people. And that's totally
it's funny
fine.
people say that because then you go talk to like teammates and they're like, Dion was the best teammate.
Right.
Like the best teammate. So if people are going to say that, why would you still hold on to this?
Think about the era that he was in. He was one of the first players that truly created a brand
Well, yeah.
and marketed
him,
himself.
Bo,
Right?
him
Jordan.
and Bo right then at about the same time.
So he took in football at that time. Nobody had built a brand like that. So seeing him do
He
that,
built a show around it.
right? I can see why people, possibly don't like that, but we're gonna get to that, Bronco Bill. We got you, buddy. Bronco Bill got banned on the last show. He was talking too much junk, so we won't ban you though, Bill. We like you. We're not mean like Mike, but I just thought that ignorance, and when I called the guy out on it, I told him, I was like, it sounds kind of racist, and he went, it's not racist, blah blah, he's a thug, whatever. But then and then I brought up the point of, I kind of hope like you have a kid that plays football, and they get knocked, like somebody runs across the field and knocks them out because they deserved it, and he just went with like, well, he didn't get knocked out, he just got hit, and I'm like, You're really focusing on the wrong things here. I mean, I don't think the kid deserves death threats. I do like Dion coming out today and like mentioning,
again, Dion.
He's
Dion
just a
does,
kid.
like all the right things. You might not like necessarily the way he gets to doing those right things. Like you may not like some guy who's talking about himself in the third person, or that tells you he's going to do something and then he does it. I don't know. I don't know why that would be a bad thing, but some people really do not like that. So look, you heard me say it multiple times, huge advocate for him being hired by Nebraska. And I said a lot that if he's truly on the open market and Nebraska wasn't going after him, I'd be bummed. And then where does he end up? Colorado, man. Like, that was so hard to see. And it's so hard to not root for them, because I also said, as soon as it happened, I told you, pay attention. Dion's going to do big things there, and Shedeur Sanders is going to be a Heisman candidate, a dark horse at the least. and he is going to surprise people with how good he is. And he's playing great right now.
I'm telling you, man. And what a time. The last year of the Pac-12, they have literally like 3 or 4 of the best quarterbacks in the nation, all going to be in the Heisman race, all going to be.
You
down
could
the
argue
stretch.
3 of the top 5, probably.
I mean, I'm throwing Bo Nix in there, but Penix.
So we're gonna say 4
Caleb
of the top
Williams.
5 with Drake May there. I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
argue that. Like, that's very possible. For real. If
So-
you're gonna say Williams, Penix, May, Nix, and Sanders are the top 5 in college football
And
right now, I'd say
watching
you're
Shador,
probably pretty close.
The only thing, and the only criticism I have for him, and it showed up in the CSU game, there's just times where he doesn't run when he should, and there's times where he kind of runs around when he shouldn't. He should just get rid of the ball and let it go. He's trying to make big plays. I get it, but there's some things that again, Dad could get in and really coach him up on. But they're winning, right? And he's putting up a lot of yards, putting a lot of touchdowns, so it's hard to critique that. But I think Shador could even take it up a notch.
It's possible. It's possible. I don't know if they quite have the talent around him, though, that would allow him to take it up a notch. That's kind of the key here. And while they've looked okay against TCU, offense not too bad, defense not looking good. People want to make a big deal of the Nebraska game, but really when I take off my red glasses and I look at that game, I say 2 things. If Nebraska only turns it over, let's say 2 times instead of 6, it might be a bit of a game. 1. And 2, CU has a Heisman level quarterback. Nebraska was playing without a quarterback. That's going to make it real hard for the other team to win too. So I don't put a lot of stock into those first 2 games for CU as a whole. The third game, I was hoping we could see them come out rivalry week and just smoke CSU, make a statement. You know what I mean? Come out, hang some points on them, make a statement, and they didn't. They almost lost. Now I get it. It's a rivalry game. A win's better than a loss, for sure. Wins are wins. I have no problems with that. But it still leaves a lot of question marks instead of some answers. So you go through these first 3 weeks with CU, and you're like, what are they really? I don't know if we know what they really are yet. And now Travis Hunter's out for a minimum of 3 weeks, like we said.
Right.
So it's now you have USC,
I know
you've got Oregon. Those are 2 out of the next 3 games.
I know CU can't guard a slant to save their lives. I know they don't have a dominant pass rusher on that team. They just don't. They don't have the dogs on defense to compete.
Not right now. Not just yet. Not at that level. It's just it's one of those fluky things. It's a rivalry game. Sometimes those games are close. Sometimes they're blowouts.
Yeah, Bronco Bill, I'll say CU has more talent than CSU, but the coach put a good game plan together. They executed, and that quarterback wasn't getting any pressure on him, so he was just hitting the wide open guy. And
let's be honest,
plays.
CU came in thinking it was going to be a skill game, and CSU came in and made it a dirty game. Not dirty in a bad way. Not like they were dirty as a team, bad plays. They just muddied the waters when it came to a lot of running, bootlegging. They rushed the passer a lot on defense. They were playing a lot of man, hands in your face, putting hands on CU guys and winning that physicality battle. And I think CU wasn't ready for that on that level.
CSU had a lot of personal fouls that made me go, they're playing really physical.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I don't think CU was ready for that type of game.
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
And that can happen when you're playing a rival.
More talented. That's what happened. CU was just more talented, and they won out in the end. They got a little lucky, and then they won out in the end. But they were not ready.
Yards.
They were not ready to get punched in the mouth. They were not ready for that. They weren't. And that's what happened. And now they've gone through it. So let's see what happens.
I mean, they're going to have to play a game similar to the game with TCU, where their offense just helps them go back and forth. Because if they get behind against Oregon, man, Oregon, like, they're scoring close to 60 a game. Like,
Dude,
the snowball effect will occur if they get behind.
close to 60 a game. They hung 81 on the first week, didn't they?
Yeah,
they? Like,
that team doesn't really count, but
I'm just saying, the Oregon will hang some points on you real quick. So, yeah, it's going to get interesting. It's going to get very interesting. So we'll see how CU does. I hate that I root for them even a little bit. It makes me just sick to my stomach, but I can't.
We're not in the same division anymore. You guys are Big 10. We're gonna be Big 12. Let it go, man. Just let it go. That rivalry's not there anymore. It's just not.
Oh, it was there. It was there 2 weekends ago.
I mean, it kind of was there.
It's in Lincoln next year, I'm pretty sure.
We'll see how that one goes. That after we get some more dogs.
It won't.
See how that
It
one
won't
goes.
go well from what I've seen right now. As long as Shadur Sanders is still there. If he goes to the NFL after the season, then that would be bad for CU. Shadur Sanders left after the season. That would be bad. Chris, there's no way, zero possibilities of that happening.
That's definitely not happening. Let's talk about Shadur Sanders for a second. He is in a really strange situation because I think I saw it the other day. I think Rich Eisen was talking about it, and they brought up, kind of a screen full of, there's probably about 5 or 6 dudes right now that are first round grades competing, and he's in a spot where it's almost like, what flavor do you like, right? Drake May's going to be pretty good. I think Michael Penix is going to be pretty damn good. Caleb Williams, like Shador's been looking good. I think all these guys are going to be pretty damn good. So do you get in the draft and get drafted 10th to 15th, or do you go back to school and now you're in the top 5 next year, right? I mean, plus you get to play with dad one more year. And he's making good NIL money. So, there's some of that but he's going to be in a tough. I mean, Deion's already talked about he could be leaving. He's been open about it. So
I think some of it will depend on what they do this season. If they could pull an upset against Oregon or USC, if they could do something like that and finish out the season strong, and be a couple games over 500, because they'll stumble along the way. But if they could have that one upset, I could see him maybe taking advantage of that and riding the wave now, depending on where he's projected and what teams are in those areas compared
but I also
to
think
coming back. Coming back is a crapshoot, man.
I want to say Travis has still got one more year before he can go. So you might see Shador just to stay with Travis, but
They both do. I'm pretty sure. I thought they came in the same class. They're both juniors this year.
I know Shador can come out. I don't know about Travis. Maybe Travis can.
Okay. I thought they
I'll have
were
to look
both
at that, but-
Deion's first class, but I could be wrong.
I mean, we just see if he's. I mean, we could just go to Google and see if he's eligible.
Okay. You could do
Good
that.
thing we've got our good friend Google. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to have a friend like Google.
I will say though, like whoever planned that for 8 p.m., man, Hunter is not eligible until 2025. He is currently in his sophomore season.
He's a year behind. Okay.
So he's got to stay till 2025. So, so they got to plan that better, man. That was way too late.
Yeah, I've never understood why they play that game so late, to be honest with you. I've never.
I mean, I kind of understand like Washington or USC, like out there on the West Coast, it's 7 p.m. I get that. 8 p.m. game, and then that ended up lasting till after midnight. That was rough, man. I had a buddy, and he had his brother. Him and his brother have Bronco season tickets, and they were going to go, but his brother was at the CU game, and his brother didn't get home till almost like 3 a.m. So they just decided to sell their tickets, take a loss, and get on out. So, but college football, not a lot happened over the weekend. Alabama sucks, bro.
I was gonna say I won't go that far, but they're stumbling a little bit. They had some problems over the weekend.
I
They
just don't know if
won,
they.
They may be playing without a quarterback right now as well.
They've played 3 already this season. Like if you've played 3, you don't have a quarterback.
Not good. It's not good.
And
old Nick
I don't
Saban
hate it.
down there has yet to be able to decide which one he's going to pick based on their play, apparently. So that's interesting because when they get into the meat of that SEC schedule, it could be interesting to see what happens with Alabama this year.
Could be a couple more L's get dropped on that record.
Could be a down year for Alabama. Could be.
And I won't hate it. I won't hate it.
Yeah.
No.
Trying to think of what
Florida
else.
State rolled. Ohio State rolled. They were playing pushovers, but
Georgia played South Carolina, right?
Oh yeah, that was way closer.
It was a bit of a game for a little while. Then Georgia kind of pulled away late. Sloppy game. A lot of games this weekend for college and pro were rainy and wet fields, and it was bad weather.
That it was. But I think that's all we got there. What do we want to say about the NFL that happened over the weekend?
I'm sorry, Chubb.
Yeah, we could talk about Chubb. That was just.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, Nick.
That was just hard, man. Like, he's the heart and soul of that team, and he runs so hard. And I think you have a good argument that he's the best back in the NFL when healthy. And it just sucks to see a guy go down like that.
Yeah, that may never happen again when healthy. Based on that knee injury, that was those ones
Did he
are pretty
tear
bad.
everything again?
I haven't read an official story yet, but based on the way that looked, that's usually not a good position for your knee to be in, and you have any type of quick recovery.
I mean, so it was a different direction on how his knee got hurt in college, but I think it's the same knee. So,
dude, they made his leg look like an ostrich leg.
Right.
That's never a good thing. That's never a good thing when you see somebody's leg do that. That knee bends the back way. Oof, bad.
No, that Chubb hit wasn't dirty.
Just
got him in the wrong spot, man.
Kind of like Saquon. He got tied up and then wrapped up and then tackled, and Saquon hurt his ankle because, people weren't letting go. Just the nature of tackling running backs specifically.
That Chubb one is right down by the goal line. Everything's condensed. Like, it just got him in the wrong spot.
Just tried to hit him low, take his legs out, and.
I did. I'm sad about that. It was sad to watch the Browns, and good Lord, Deshaun Watson is definitely not giving the Browns what they paid for.
Oh boy, I think we can start making that a story. I think he is playing bad football.
So
just bad football, and I don't know how many more games does he need to knock off the rust if at this point that's what people are saying, if he even can.
One of the things I noticed, obviously in his prime with the Texans, he would run the ball, and he did some runs, but he looks really slow. Like, he does not have the same wheels that he had. And I could be off, but it doesn't look the same to me when he's running. And his passing, his decisions, everything's just been off, man. And
Yeah,
like
it absolutely has.
and they're in like, I mean, let's be honest, with all the contracts, the way they're structured today, if an owner wants to eat it, they can eat that contract. Like they'll pay him the money, they'll eat it. You just got to suffer the dead cap, consequences.
I mean, Watson's is a little bit different than eating any other contract in history due to the fact that it is actually all guaranteed. So normally when you say eat it, it's like, yeah, we can eat the first 2, and then there's like an opt-out clause after year 2 or maybe year 3 or something like that. Deshaun Watson's is all of it, no matter what.
Right.
You're paying
all guaranteed. Although I did see something about like it's not like there's a injury one in there that like would really hurt if they, I don't know. I already saw some people putting together some things of like how the Browns could try to get out of it. But it's not looking good, man. Not looking good.
No, epic failed experiment for sure.
And Kenny Pickett is straight trash, bro. That dude is not good. I have no problem saying that. Little man hands is not good.
That's fair. Not like he's playing well, and I'm not a Pickett supporter, so I don't care if you say it. I'm not gonna try to defend the guy. I thought maybe he could do like some Eli Manning type things, Kirk Cousin type things, maybe. But like that offensive line doesn't look a whole lot better. And that offensive play calling from the offensive coordinator is unimaginative, I'll say.
Yeah, I mean that play caller is really bad. I mean, he's kind of in a Justin Fields situation where the play caller is really not helping him, but he doesn't look good either. Like there's just I haven't seen anything this year. It's almost like what we saw last year was like his ceiling already.
Justin Fields?
Pickett,
sure. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the season progresses for him in that offense. You brought up Fields. He's kind of in the same boat. Like, people are talking about, like, did he regress? And I'm sitting here going, well, that offensive line doesn't look a whole lot better. He has had some opportunities that he just completely missed on. So, 2 things. Coaching could be not giving him the right instructions on where to be looking or what to be looking at. Or he is just kind of scared for his life but doesn't want to run like he did last year. So he's trying to like do these progressions, but he's like skipping through them incorrectly. So he's missing that time. You know what I mean?
right?
Like happy feet kind of thing in the pocket. And I can't, because he's had a couple throws where you're like, okay, all right, he just needs to settle down. And then like he just never settles down. So I don't know, man. I might have to be admitting I'm wrong about Justin Fields here soon. I don't know if it'll be any fault of his own, almost like a Sam Darnold situation. Like, you just had really terrible situations that you were brought into the league with, and there was no overcoming them, period. And so we'll never know if you could have been good
And
because of the situation.
I mean, some things that I've watched a couple videos of guys critiquing, and he's processing information slow right now, which could be running for your life. It could be like, I'm about to get rushed, so I need to get the ball out quick, or I'm holding too long. Like, he could be in his own head. Again, that could be just not a fault of his own, but
See, and I could be wrong.
definitely.
I could be wrong. I don't know if he's processing it slow, because you don't stand in the pocket in the NFL for 3+ seconds trying to go through progressions. Very often do you get that kind of time, right? And he had a couple of those opportunities. And when I saw the videotape, and look, I didn't play quarterback. Like, I didn't even play high school football. I'm not trying to lie about it. I understand it, I feel like, but I didn't play it at that level. But what I saw was a dude who it almost looked like he was looking in the wrong spots on the field. Like he knew the play, but his timing, his cadence, his footwork, whatever, was one step off from everything that was happening with the routes. So when he looked, here for one, that guy hadn't broke yet, and there were two defenders there, so he hadn't gotten a chance to move through. He moves over to two. Two's covered. He moves to three right away, but three you had to give 10 steps, but he's already moved through that. His steps, his timing were off for what those routes should have been. And that's more to me what I saw happening rather than him just not understanding it. And I could be wrong, right? Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm good with that. That's fine. But that's just kind of my 2 cents. And that's a lot of coaching. And it's also a guy who just doesn't look comfortable in that position this year. Like, I don't know what else to say. You know what I mean? Like, he just doesn't look comfortable with his first couple games. Like, he's not even running. Like, he's not even, like, taking off when he sees those holes and getting that 10 to 15 like he did last
that's
year.
probably the next step. Within the next few weeks, if things continue not going well, I see him probably reverting to last season of, I'm going to start making some plays on my own.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens there. I don't, I said I don't have a lot of confidence in that front office, that ownership, that coaching staff to do the right things, to use the talent that they already have in the right way. Man, the year before Justin Fields got there, Darnell Mooney had like a semi-breakout season, and everybody was projecting him that following year to just like
his rookie year.
Yeah.
His rookie year, he had a really good year.
Komet, everybody was like, man, this guy can play. Like he's like, there were early on some comparisons to like almost a Gronk-esque because of his size. But like they don't run a specific rep tree for him, Mooney, who knows what happened? Like, is he still there? I know he's their wide receiver too, but there's not a lot of,
most people are like, why did we trade for DJ Moore? Like, we're not even throwing him the ball. Like,
yeah. So who knows? And then they spent all that capital on the defense, and the defense is getting chewed up and spit out left and right this season so far. Like, the defense looks bad, just bad. And that's where they invested a lot of their, free agency dollars, their draft capital.
I don't think this coach is going to make it.
Yeah, well, that might be too late for some of this talent to, at least in Chicago, be relevant and worthwhile. You know what I mean? So I don't know if we'll even after this season be able to truly say what Justin Fields is or could be or won't be or anything above and beyond that. So, it's still really early in the season, so try not to overreact too much. But he looks a little lost these first couple weeks for sure.
Trying to think of what games we want to touch on. I got to throw a little shade because they did it again, man. Chargers found a way to Charger, bro. Like, it's without fail. Like, there's no reason they should have lost that game to the Titans at all.
Probably not. Probably not.
I mean, you hold Derrick Henry to 3 yards a carry, but somehow you give up 40 and you give a 70-yard pass to Treylon Burks. You give up a 49-yard pass, like multiple big plays. Hopkins was pretty much kept in check, but like they just like how they that defense never shows up when it should. Yeah, man. Chargers chargered. I love to see it. I do. I do love to see it. Although
Staley's going to be lucky to make it through the season at this rate.
I had 2 teams on my parlays that I was like, in half of my parlays, I had the Chargers, and the other half I had the Packers, and they both screwed me, and it didn't make any sense because both teams were winning the game for most of the game, and then they just fell apart at the end.
So check this out. Packers look halfway decent this year, But I think the surprise is I think Atlanta might be actually good. I think Arthur Smith might have gone down there, got the pieces to finally be what he wanted to kind of really do, and they're the new Tennessee Titans. When we were talking about Tennessee as a dark horse Super Bowl possible run, now I'm not saying Atlanta's quite that level yet. There were a couple years there where we were saying Tennessee could go surprise some people, and they almost did. They had Kansas City on the ropes at one point, but now they've kind of fallen off. Is Atlanta that new Tennessee? What Arthur Smith is doing down there in Atlanta, and the pieces they have. Bijan Robinson is a beast.
Bijan is the man. I think they surprised the Packers a little bit. The Falcons beat the Panthers week 1. I've watched Bryce Young. I am worried about what they're doing with that guy right now. So I don't know if the Falcons are just fool's gold or not. But they were competitive all last year. They lost multiple games at the end of the game from a Mariota interception or a Mariota fumble or whatever it was. So I do think they're talented. They're probably not there yet. Yeah. And if I were the Falcons, if you can trade Kyle Pitts for anything, go ahead and trade him. You're not using him. So might as well. Right? I feel like Kyle Pitts is like in TJ Hawkinson's situation. They draft him high. They don't use him, and you could trade him to a team that'll use him, and they'll look like superstars again.
Get like a third for him. Somebody offered you that, like jump on that. You need more.
At this point, if you're not going to use him, and he's probably one of the most talented tight ends physically, get what you can then.
It's crazy that they have like Drake London. He kind of had a decent game last week, but like. London and Pitts should be getting a lot of balls throughout the course of a game their way. And then everybody else should be getting a few looks.
I mean, Desmond's not the best passer of the ball either. I actually feel like them winning games is hurting because I think if they could get into this draft, into the top 5 and get one of these top quarterbacks coming out with Bijan and everything else they have, man, they would be dangerous. I just don't see Ridder. I don't see Ridder taking that like step to make them a true contender. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely more Tannehill than he is Rodgers.
Right. Absolutely.
So I get that.
Let's see. Quick hitter. Giants were definitely trying to help the Cardinals win a game.
Oh, my goodness.
And then decided, like, wait, we can't lose to the Cardinals, can we? And
like
came back to win. They were down 20-0.
First half, it looked like they didn't want to be there. Second half, it looked like they decided to like hit reset and start their season over again.
And how much is Daniel Jones literally fleecing the Giants, bro?
Like, let's see. That second half wasn't too terrible. Again, not the best offensive line, and he's got Darren Waller to throw to. Like, if we're being honest, he's got Darren Waller to throw to. So
I mean, I like Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt's actually made some big plays so far this season, so we'll give him that. Chiefs and Jaguars, man, what an ugly game to watch.
Yeah, didn't see that coming.
My wife
did not.
I don't know why. My wife
was thinking like a 31-27 type of game.
We did not
get that. We did not get anywhere close to that.
And the wide receivers are not like – I'm telling you, man, the Chiefs might struggle this year because I don't have I don't even think Juju's that good, man. But last year, when you needed a completion on third down, Juju was right there. He caught the ball, and sometimes he'd make some plays for extra yards. They are missing that production, man.
Yeah, they don't quite have that this year.
They're still going to win the AFC West. They're still going to be in the playoffs. But I worry about them about a team that brings a good defense to the party, because I think this you can hold as long as you can hold Travis down to less than 100, and you only let him catch one touchdown. I think you're going to be looking pretty good.
It's a good start, definitely.
Jags couldn't just T-Law could not find the end zone.
They couldn't get anything going for one reason or another. They could just not like it. It wasn't one of those 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It was 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of day.
Chris Jones definitely was like, "Hey guys, I'm back." He left imprints all over that field. They got. I mean, when Nick Bolton is running sideline to sideline, man, he's really good. So
it's crazy. I don't know what
the Chiefs defense may be what gets them to where they need to be.
We're gonna find out. We will definitely find out. I mean, we've got the Jags being the 1 seed out there in the AFC, so they can't win.
We got the Bills coming back to life and smashing the Raiders. That was awesome.
It's the Raiders. It's the Raiders.
I mean,
let's not put too much stock into it.
Eagles and Vikings played a pretty enjoyable game on Thursday Night Football. Really weird with so many turnovers, but
yeah, odd game, but it was entertaining actually and pretty good.
Seahawks Lions game was very entertaining.
It was
overtime. I'm still seeing some regression in Geno, man. I think they need to be a little worried.
I don't know if that's quite it. I mean, weren't there 2 tackles out Sunday?
They were.
So I don't know if it's quite regression. They got some injuries on that offensive line that was really stout last year and solid for them. It has not quite been that way to start the season. So let's wait. Let's give Geno a benefit of doubt. Let's just kind of wait and see what happens here. I mean, he still led them to 30 points or something like that?
It was 37-31 was the final.
Yeah, so it's not like he's not getting that offense going. So let's wait and see. Let's give Geno a couple more weeks, see if that offensive line can get a little bit more healthy, and see what happens.
Rams gave the 49ers all they could handle, but the 49ers pulled it out as they should.
What has happened with the Rams? Why are we so confused on how they're not bad?
I don't know, bro. Like, they found a guy that catches as many balls as Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And
Puka Nacua.
Yeah. Puka is awesome. They're running the football fairly effectively as well. I'm dumbfounded. Yeah. I'm dumbfounded. I have their roster as a whole is not good, and yet somehow is McVay that good of a coach? I mean, Stafford's still healthy right now.
He's killing himself right now with victories, if that's the case, because they really need to. I mean, don't they get one of their picks back this year? Don't they finally have a first-round pick this next draft?
For now.
Guys, easy. We could actually use it this time because we do need to kind of start replenishing the cabinets here.
So, and then Dolphins beat the Patriots. That was fun because I'm a big Patriot hater. So seeing them lose was fun. They're 0-2. Love that. Poor Jets fans. They actually didn't get mollywopped as bad as they could have, and that's probably because their defense is really good.
Why did they not run the ball? Why did they not have 40, 50 runs? With those 2 backs.
They had 11 carries.
Right.
Total.
I know.
Guess who had the most carries?
Dalvin Cook.
No.
Oh, Zach Wilson? Is that where you're going with this?
Wilson.
Yeah, because of
Zach Wilson had technically more carries than anybody. Dalvin Cook had 4. And Breece Hall had 4.
He had 4. Okay.
And Michael Carter had 2.
11, dude. With those pass rushers and those DBs on the other side of the field, opposite of the Jets offense, and Zach Wilson is your quarterback, and you're going to drop back, and instead of running it, you're going to pass it 75% of the time, 80% of the time. What are you doing?
Well, I'm just wondering, like, and I guess I didn't really watch the game, so this might be all. I mean, Zach only threw 27 passes, so I'm like, you only had 11 rushes plus Zach's 5, so you had 16 total, but you only threw 27 passes. But then Zach was picked off 3 times, so maybe that's what disrupted the game. And this is one of the ones where I just like felt like the Jets were gonna be okay for a little bit, but then they would fall apart because Zach's gonna be Zach, and he's not very good.
It's called look, and I said this before the Broncos hired the guy. He's not the offensive coordinator. He's not the one calling the plays. Don't be giving this guy the credit. Well, guess what? He was just there to basically make sure people were like, oh, he's the offensive coordinator. He's going to help Aaron Rodgers call plays. Now Aaron Rodgers is gone. And they need him to be an actual offensive coordinator and call plays. And he's never done that except for his 1 year in Denver.
So he did it.
And
Well, he did call plays in Jacksonville, and he called plays in Buffalo. So he has done it.
Yeah, that's what they've said. I'm questioning that
But-
more and more.
When he was in Jacksonville, they had Leonard Fournette and they ran the football.
Yeah.
Like, because they had Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
And what do? You run the football, you protect Blake Bortles, you let him do play action.
Yeah.
He'll make a couple plays here and there. But
Exactly.
you run the ball, and that's what they did. So he's had
So
some
if he
moments.
was really the one calling the plays, why is he not doing that with the 2 backs he has in the backfield right now? I'm just
No
saying.
idea, man.
I'm just saying. Make you think.
I
would have.
ran
Things.
Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence on the edges are very, very talented. And Micah Parsons can pretty much do everything. You can still, again, if you can come off the ball and get him, you can run at him. They didn't do any of that. They didn't even try.
Yeah.
Like,
No. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
Not surprising there. What else? We got anything else? I think that was it for the weekend. Watching the Browns lose and their defense only gave up 1 touchdown was pretty disheartening. But
You're just gonna skip right over the Broncos last week. You don't even want to.
we could talk about it. I mean, I was so excited, and like now that I'm actually seeing the offense like do things that we haven't seen in years, but our defense is magically just falling apart. Like it's just disheartening.
I warned you, buddy. I warned you that 1, Washington isn't a bad football team, and 2, something is off at Dove Valley still. And hey, let's be honest. Maybe going from Nathaniel Hackett to Sean Payton wasn't the greatest idea. Now, it's way too early to say whether or not that's true.
I mean,
the idea being you went from one extreme to the other. You know what I mean? There's no middle ground of what you did.
But that's typically what happens, right? That's just kind of normal. I've seen a lot of good things offensively that we haven't seen in years.
Okay. Hang on. If you took off your orange and blue glasses, would you say Russ is truly getting the job done, or would Pinky actually say a lot of those are, what do you call them, Pinky? Come on, what kind of stats?
None of those were empty stats. They were up 21-3. What's empty about them? They took the lead.
Man, I don't know. Something about it just
Here's something that you will be shocked at. I don't know if you've seen the stat yet. The Broncos offense is number 1 in points per play in the entire league.
I did see that.
So
they just don't have a lot of plays, and that's part of the issue.
Well, again, even last week, they had the ball 6 times. They scored on 3. They had a missed field goal on 1. If he hit that field goal, they were 4 of 6 on their possessions. That's better than what we saw last year, bro.
Look, I'm not. Hey, easy. Let's back up. I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying something still just feels off to me. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
it again,
Something
man. The
feels off
defense.
still.
The defense is.
You've now lost to the Raiders, and you have lost to the Commanders. And you
Right.
didn't play terrible, but you didn't play good because you didn't win. So you can't say you played well. Something just feels off. And again, I don't know if it's going to change unless Peyton has a couple more years with us and he gets all of his guys in there. I'm just.
Well, he's got a
Our
6-year
team is
contract,
thin.
so he's got time.
Broncos are thin. Let's be honest. There's some
Right.
talent, but they're thin. I just don't
Losing-
know, man. Just don't know.
There's just a couple things in the game that just went the wrong way. K-Jack's getting ejected. Then we had to pull Turner Yell, who normally just plays special teams. He had to play safety. That goes along with Caden Stearns, being out for the season after last week. Like, that's rough. Vance Joseph looked confused. Like, he was just like, every
Defense
play was
does
like,
not look good.
so we're getting production out of the offense that we didn't get last year, but our defense has regressed. So we're not playing as a team. We're not getting both sides. So I don't know the fix. I know Clayton was talking about Miami. If we don't run the football on Miami, and again, in the second half against Commanders, we kind of stopped running the ball. Don't know why. Don't know why we made that decision. Javonte got 4 carries in the second half. That's not a commitment to the run.
No.
So yeah, I mean, it's weird. I'm at the point now where I'm almost kind of numb to losses. Like, everybody's like really pissed off and they're just losing their mind. I can't. All I know is I enjoyed watching the game. It was more fun than I've had watching a game in a long time. We just came out on the wrong end of it.
I mean, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but like, it's hard to be like angry or upset when this is kind of what you expected to see to a certain degree. No, I thought they'd at least get one of these games, so I thought
I didn't think the defense would fall off a cliff.
Yeah, I mean, me neither. But we'll wait and see what happens.
I mean, you got to get a competitive game. I mean, at this point, the way it looks, if their defense keeps playing this bad, like, we're probably going to have a top 5 pick. Which, I mean, is that a bad thing? We might sell some of the high-priced veterans. You might see Sutton traded. You might see Simmons traded. You might see Judy traded, possibly.
I mean, if you're gonna do a gut job, do a gut job. Like, don't hold on and waver. That's what gets most teams in trouble. They're unwilling to go all in, so they dip their toes in the rebuild, and then they're just bad for a long time. Which is what, let's be honest, that's what John Elway was doing with Joe Ellis for the last decade or so.
Right.
Had they not found a way to convince Peyton Manning to come here, there would have been a real bad long stretch of bad football in Denver, probably. So
Clayton, my man. I mean,
no.
I mean, technically, we're a little behind because the rest of our division has not done well so far. But
I mean, here's the one silver lining, if you will. Here, Broncos fans, I'll give you this one silver lining.
I'm all ears.
Aaron Rodgers is out, so that frees up a playoff spot.
There's one that we thought was going to be there. Bengals are sucking. They could turn it around.
I said Joe Burrow should have sat probably the first month of the season. We both said they're probably talented enough to lose the first 4 games and still make the playoffs as long as Burrow's healthy. He's not healthy. And unless he sits out and truly lets his calf heal, Joe Burrow can't be Joe Cool if he can't move around. It's just not going to happen. And the Bengals they're going to look real bad because they have neglected that offensive line yet again. and thought Burrow and those receivers would fix everything, and it may not happen.
So that, I mean, again, if they don't go on a run like they went last year, they might miss the playoffs. So you've got the Chargers; they're 0-2, right?
Well, let's be honest, Pinky. And I know you say Chargers are going to Charger, but if you had to put money on the Chargers or the Broncos to make the playoffs right now at 0-2, who would you pick?
Well, you're gonna pick the Chargers, but
Right. I'm just saying, like, Broncos making the playoffs. Yes, a spot did open with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers going down, but that doesn't mean there weren't like 3 teams ahead of the Broncos already that will take that spot. You know what I mean? So
here's the thing: if the Broncos were to do that, they're gonna have to win games that you don't think they're gonna win. Like they'd have to come out and beat Miami.
yeah,
Right now, I would say they're gonna. I think they'll beat Chicago. I think they would beat the Jets. I think that Jets game is going to be ugly. It's at home, though. I think we could win that game. If Breece Hall doesn't break off a 70-yarder last year, we probably win that game.
Yeah,
Our
I mean, here's
offense
the
is better
problem.
this year.
If the Jets do realize that if they run the ball like 40, 50 times a game, they can beat most teams in the NFL, they probably beat the Broncos.
But they have Nathaniel Hackett, so I'm not worried about that.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Cheers, my guy. Cheers. Hope.
But then they've got to, they're going to have to split with the Chiefs. They're going to have to, get the last Raiders game. They probably got to beat the Chargers twice. They've got a couple games like the Texans, Green Bay. Green Bay is tougher than we thought. Well, I think
tougher than you thought.
I mean, we've rated them pretty high in our projection, so I guess I had to I have to fix my thinking on them, but that's not a gimme game. That's going to be
honestly,
game.
let's just if you're looking at the rest of the schedule and you're just taking a quick peek, let's say they beat the Jets. So there's 2 wins.
They're 2-3.
3 wins with the Texans.
They beat the Patriots.
And then I wouldn't say they beat the Patriots right now.
At home, I think they do.
Oh. Either way, okay, give them the Patriots and Las Raiders. You're getting 5 wins. Like, that's half of what we thought they could possibly get. And
well, again, that's where they've got to get
at it going.
They've got to get both
great,
Chargers.
Actually.
They got to get both of the Chargers games. That put them at 7. They'd have to get one of the Chiefs. That puts them at 8. Now we're getting closer, but
yeah, it's going to be a rough year.
They would have to pull out this Miami game or the Buffalo. Like they'd have to win one of those to make the playoffs, Clayton.
Look, Clayton, we projected them at what? 10-7. 10-7. That's what I thought. Yep, 10-7.
10-7, and they would be one of the teams on how things broke out that they could make the playoffs.
And with the Jets dropping out, they're becoming that conversation.
But that was also with 2 victories up front that they didn't get.
Thought they'd start 2-0. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
that hurts.
Now,
losing these 2 games is a much bigger hole than maybe some fans want to give it credence to.
Right.
It is. It's a huge hole.
It's a big hole. They're going to have to play substantially better football on the defensive side against better offenses to get us where we need to be. And that's if the offense continues to play well, because there's been some good positives. Are we one of the top 10 offenses in the league over the season? Probably not. But are we in the top 20? I think we could say we could be.
We better be. Jeez Louise.
Well, we were like one of the dead last season. So
I know.
Getting into the 20s is actually a fairly good improvement.
All right, let's go to next week. Start with the Broncos.
I was going to skip it. So we could not get depressed. But
no, let's just move right into it. Let's start with the Broncos.
I will say this. I'm super excited. One of my good buddies is going to the Broncos-Dolphins game in Miami. His wife's law firm has a suite, and if you have a suite, you get offered trips. And they're going on this whole excursion. They get to do dinner on a yacht.
Oh,
And then they get to go watch the Bronco game in a suite there in Miami. I'm hoping he sees a good football game. I don't see the Broncos will literally have to run the football and keep the ball out of Tua's hands to have any chance.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you, and I personally think you're going to agree with this because you are a football guy first and foremost when it comes to like actually, looking at how things play out. But I don't think Surtain has played all that fabulously this year just yet. And just hear me out. People are like, well, he held Devontae Adams to 66 yards. Well, yeah, it was 6 for 66. And what the Raiders did, if you really watched that game, was they really used Devontae as like a distraction. And Jacoby Myers went off.
Right.
Like they weren't stupid. There was nothing on the other side of the field.
But that's what you do.
And with that, Devontae still went 6 for 66, right? Last week.
You're not going to shut out Devontae.
I know. I agree. You're not. But I'm not saying Surtain has played bad. So don't take this the wrong way. I'm just saying he hasn't played lights out, shut down corner like some people are trying to proclaim. Last week, you look at the game and like not great either. He didn't necessarily match up on one guy the entire game like he did with Devontae for the most part. But they were still able to throw the ball consistently enough because, okay, if Surtain's going to be over here, that guy can still get a couple catches. It's not like we're going to completely ignore it. But everything else is so bad that it doesn't even matter.
So one of the things you're missing, though, is there's no tale of two halves last week. Raiders game, there was no pressure at all. None.
No, I get it. I'm not. Look,
last week, first half pressure, second half no pressure.
The
corner can only cover so long.
The front four, the front seven, not playing great. We don't have a lot of pieces there. I get it. I'm with you. I'm with you. But again, I'm going to go back to this, and I'll continue to go back to this, and I'll keep doing it. You don't draft a cornerback unless you have your line stacked and your QB. You just don't. It's not worth it, especially in today's NFL, because it will cost you in other areas so drastically that cornerback, yeah, okay, cool, he's shutting down that side of the field. The other side of the field is wide open and it doesn't matter. Like, it literally doesn't matter.
Which is what's happening right now.
So
Mary Mathis is getting cooked right now.
Yeah.
Now, again, we can still debate, Fields over Surtain.
I'm not even saying Fields. I'm not even going there. I'm
working out
literally.
right now.
And you know me, Pinky. I am old school. I love my Nebraska. What's Nebraska known for? Running the damn ball down your throat. Like, I love that big boy football where you have such a brutal line that can run and pass block that you can do whatever you want, and they hide some of the warts that maybe your quarterback isn't the best or your running back isn't the best, but you've got some great receivers, whatever it might be. Those big boys up front on both sides of the ball, offensive and defensive, can set the tone for the entire team to be really good or really bad. And the Broncos' lines are just not good. And their quarterback is playing okay. That's not a recipe for success. You know what I mean? And now you're going to be in a position where, do you pay him? Do you extend him? Do you take that fifth-year option? I mean, that's coming up next year. You're going to have to make decisions, right? Like, so what route do you go, especially if you miss the playoffs this year? How are you going to proceed with a lot of these guys? Like you said, Judy could be another name that gets thrown in that mix. There's going to be a lot of questions. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying the way this team was built from the beginning was like a very much win now. And that time has already passed, it feels like.
You could be right. Like I said, by the trade deadline, if things have not turned around, I would not be shocked to see the Broncos be sellers. Because again, Sean Payton could go, hey, I didn't draft these guys. I need to draft the guys for my system. I need more draft picks in order to do that. So
what do you think is going to happen with him next week?
Man, I mean, if Jalen Waddle's out, I'm starting to feel better. I know he's in concussion protocol. Because if Jalen Waddle...
Let's be honest. If Waddle's in, it's not even a question, right?
Absolutely.
So can go shut down Waddle, or he can shut down Hill, which I don't think he could shut down either guy, to be perfectly honest with you. I just don't think he's fast enough to keep up with them.
I mean, the way they run... Well, you would need a guy to help you with that.
Oh yeah,
based on how fast they are.
You'd have to play a guy
and I don't think
at all times.
I don't think we have guys that are smart enough right now to play that. So yeah, if
with
Hill
Waddle,
and Waddle are both out there,
it's not even a game. Miami blows out Denver. Without Waddle,
okay. So again, the only way Denver could win that game, because they're gonna get cooked, is to run the football, score points, and keep Miami off the field. That's asking a lot, though. Like, there's a lot that has to go right. That's like optimism.
I get it. Dude, you know how sports work. That whole defense is going to be like, let's win one for Chubb.
It's football.
For Chubb. Let's beat the shit out of him for Chubb. And they're going to come out and just, like, destroy the Broncos. I'm so nervous about this.
I mean, Chubb's been one of the worst pass rushers in the last 2 seasons, so I'm not
I know, but you know how teams get up for, like, their former teammates' past team. Like, you know how that happens.
I get it. I don't think that. I think it would be more about getting up for Fangio than getting up for Chubb. But Miami's defense is not
totally
that good.
Yeah, that's totally what it would be. Let's do this for coach for sure.
But I can see there's ways.
God, no.
The Broncos would have to play
let's not do this.
Perfect game.
Let's not.
I said they'd have to play a pretty damn perfect game.
Let's not do this. I can see ways too, right? Like we can see ways. But that's just us really trying to be glass half full, talk it up like there's actually a chance. Yes, it's the NFL, and any given Sunday, we all understand that. But unless Tua goes out, like that's not.
Well, like, Tua can play, but Tua would literally have to turn the ball over like 3 times.
He doesn't do that. He just doesn't do that. We don't have the dogs back there to do it anyways. You know what I mean? Like
it would be like, yes, I mean the spread is 6.5. I could see the Dolphins winning by a lot more than that.
I'm smashing the over on that. I will take the Dolphin in that 6.5 all day.
See, I think I'm just gonna hit the over. I think it'll go over 48 points because I think the Dolphins will probably score 30. And the Broncos can get 20.
Oh, that's asking a lot.
Miami's defense isn't very good, bro.
They're not great. I'll give you that.
If the Chargers ran for 7 yards a clip, I think we can run for a good amount. But we have to be consistent and run the ball. We can't just stop.
Man, I just don't like
If Jalen Phillips stays out another week, that wouldn't hurt either.
That wouldn't hurt either. No. Nope. That'd be fine. Yeah.
But yes, that's probably another loss. Broncos country is going to literally lose their minds. Titans, Browns.
Yo, let's be honest.
Titans are going to win this game.
You think so?
Absolutely. Titans are going to win this game. No Chubb. Jerome Ford's nice.
I was going to say Jerome Ford looked pretty solid, actually.
But you can't run on the Titans, bro. The one thing that the Titans do on defense is they stop the run.
Yeah, but here's the deal. That's because
Justin Simmons,
Derrick Henry all the time, right? If there was one other team in the NFL that you said could match the way the Titans run the ball, it would be the way Cleveland runs the ball with Chubb.
I agree, but they don't have Chubb. Like Jerome Ford is nice,
fair point.
He's not Chubb.
Fair point. Jerome Ford is not Chubb. Okay, I'm with you. I feel you. We'll go Titans.
I'm taking Titans. They are the underdog because it's in Cleveland.
Okay.
I'm taking Titans in the 3 points.
I like that, actually. I like that. Hey, start writing this down. write this little parlay that we're about to build down because we're going Miami in points. Smash that all day. Smash the out of that. I like Tennessee in points. I like that. So let's keep those two. Let's keep those two handy. We're gonna build a little runner here before we're all said and done.
Titans +3. All right. Bears and Chiefs.
God, if the Chiefs don't win this, something
So
terrible.
the line is 12.5.
Oh, I don't. That's too big a line in the NFL. That's way too big a line in the NFL.
So you take the Bears and the points.
No, I'm not touching that game with a 10-foot pole.
All right, we won't touch that one. I like that too. I mean, if you want to take, the Chiefs money line's probably -500, so it's probably not.
I'm looking for, as Van Pelt would say, winners. I'm looking for thoroughbreds. I'm looking for gold medalists. That's what we're trying to do here.
Well,
Those first
we
two
do
I
have-
think are gimmies, Pinky.
We have Thursday night football. Giants going to San Francisco. The line's 10.
The Giants are going to San Francisco on Thursday night. No Saquon.
No Saquon.
Can you just parlay San Fran as a money line? Like, could you just
Sure.
throw that in there?
Sure.
Ten's a lot, but I wouldn't mind touching that.
We could do San Fran and -7. We can always move the line.
No, because it's Thursday night. Thursday night just kind of concerns me a little bit. But Niners winning, I don't think is a concern.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about Niners winning at all.
Yeah.
Bills and Commanders.
Look, nothing I saw from Josh Allen last week against the Raiders made me go like, ooh, okay, he figured it out. Like, the Raiders aren't good. Like, let's not fool ourselves. They're not good. Yes, they did what they were supposed to. Yes, I think Josh Allen's still a really, really damn good quarterback. I'm not trying to say he's not. What I am trying to say is just like last time, I think he's got a little bit of a turnover tendency, and not because he's not seeing things properly or he's not able to handle the information being given to him. It's because he tries to do too much, and that's his downfall. That's his Achilles heel. He tries to overplay his hand.
I don't see the Bills losing this game. And that's just because I think, again, the Commanders' secondary is not very good.
Where's the game?
It's in Washington. The line is 6.5 Bills.
Look, that front four from Washington is pretty good.
It's arguably in the top 5 defensive lines. Like, you could argue.
Pretty good. And Chase Young played well last week. Now that he's back, that's what concerns me a little bit.
Deron Payne,
yeah,
Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, and Chase Young. Like, that's nasty.
Yeah.
But if they don't get home, you can beat them.
Yes. Yes. I'm not saying that Buffalo won't win. What I am saying is this: I pause with concern ever so slightly, because if Buffalo comes out there just going through the motions, they'll lose the game. Like, they need to be on, and I don't know what's going on in Buffalo right now, but they're kind of sputtering right now. They're not purring, if you will, when it comes to engine noises.
So I would say we probably wouldn't touch the game then.
Yeah, no, don't like it.
Maybe the over. The over's it's 44.5 is the over under.
Oh.
I mean, the Broncos and Commanders put up 60.
Yeah, dude. Snap that over. I like that. Buffalo Commanders over. I'm saying we're about to build, a little bit of a crazy little yellow brick road. You can throw $1 on it if you want to. You can throw, a couple bills. That's up to you. I'm just saying 10 cents. I don't care.
This is an interesting one. Chargers Vikings.
Where's it at?
Minnesota.
Not like it matters, because it would have been a home game for Minnesota anyways.
It's the line currently is Chargers by 1.
First off, I'm not touching this game.
I don't think I would touch it either. And the over-under is 54.5. I don't like that. I just don't.
No, with Eckler being out, Josh Kelly turned back into a pumpkin last week.
Against Tennessee, who has a good run D.
I get it. Jeez. Minnesota has a bad defense.
But better than last year.
Goodness gracious.
Because they have what's his name? Flores. They have
Flores
Brian
is the DC, yeah.
So they're playing better.
Look, I've always been a Kirk Cousins supporter. You know that. I think he's slightly underrated rather than being slightly overrated. That's how I've always felt about him. All right, cheers.
We agree on that.
But I like the Chargers to win. But I would not touch this as far as a betting line.
I think the Vikings are going to win, and I just think it's because that defense can't. If they couldn't hold Ryan Tannehill and whatever wide receivers he's throwing to, and they kept Derrick Henry in check.
I know.
They couldn't do anything else.
I know, dude. I get it.
Yeah, I just don't have any faith in the Chargers. So
I get it.
I'm saying they're going 0-3. Colts and Ravens.
Bummer that Richardson got hurt because I liked what I was seeing from the coaching staff and from the quarterback up until now. I know it was a very small sample size, but up until he got hurt, I liked what I was seeing.
Let's be honest.
You could see that there was going to be a very steady progression throughout the course of the year where you would end that season and go, I like what we saw from you. And now I don't. How long is he going to be out? Is it reoccurring? Do they even put him back in if Minshew's
I thought he was in concussion protocol.
Yeah.
So he could be back.
I know. I'm just saying, how things can change with injuries. Like, what happens?
Yeah, I don't like the Colts or a rookie quarterback against the Ravens. The line's 7.5. I think the Colts could play tougher than that, but yeah, I probably wouldn't touch that game.
Where's it at?
It's in Baltimore.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to do Baltimore money line,
what's the over under?
It's 44.5.
See, here's the thing. That Colts offense looked very capable with Minshew playing. Like legit, like Pittman came to life. The running game came back a little bit. Points on the over there could be interesting. 44.5. I mean, you're talking a 28, 21, 28, 20 game. Can the Colts get to 20 on Baltimore? I'm going to say no. Let's stay away. I like Baltimore in that game for sure.
This one's interesting. Falcons, Lions.
Ooh.
In Detroit.
I think, honestly, even though I talked up the Falcons a little bit earlier, I think this is where they have a coming down to earth moment a little bit, and the Lions kind of run away with this a little bit late.
The line's only 3, so I think you could probably take Lions money line here.
Wait, whoa. The Lions are only favored by 3 points against Atlanta? Dude, grab that 3 points. Oh, seriously? Let's add that to the run. That's crazy. Are you serious? No. Lions pull away with this late pretty decisively, I think.
Patriots, Jets.
I think this game's going to be close. I hate to say it, but I think the Patriots win.
Patriots are 3-point favorites.
I don't want to touch this game, but I think the Patriots win.
I'm nervous. The Jets defense is really good, and they can make Mac Jones look really bad. So that I just wouldn't touch that game. unless you want to do like the over-under, which right now is at 36.5. I think we could increase the under to like 42 and keep it right there, and I think you'd be all right. But
I don't know. What's I would need to know where the game's at. Probably
it's in New York.
It's in New York, so it's at MetLife. What's the weather? I would need to know what the weather's going to be like on Sunday. And then I can make an educated decision. But that sounds like an under smash all day long, doesn't it?
Well, it's 36.5.
Put the under off to the side and just kind of we'll keep that in the back of our minds. The under on that one. That's interesting.
That's where I think we could move the under up a little bit and then feel very comfortable.
I get what you're saying, but odds wise, if we're trying to build, a yellow brick road, if you will, that could be one that kind of gives you that extra little nudge boost that you're really looking for.
Saints Packers in Green Bay.
I like the Packers here. The Saints haven't shown me. No, I think the Saints defense is nasty. I think it's pretty damn good, actually. I do think it's the Packers here.
Packers are 2-point favorites. I didn't do it. You bounced out and came back in.
Oh, weird.
Somehow.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I like the Packers, but I would stay away from this game.
It's one of those ones that's too close to call. I could see it go either way.
What do you think about Jordan Love over the first 2 weeks so far, Pinky? I know it's, again, small sample size. I get it.
I think Matt LaFleur and him are – I think Matt LaFleur is calling a really good game plan for him. And Jordan Love's making really good reads. I've watched him both times. The Packers were underdogs to the Falcons. And I was like, no way. They should definitely beat the Falcons. And for most of the game, they were winning. So, So I think that the Love is doing some good things, and I'm sure by the end of the season, I'm pretty confident I'll probably be eating some crow.
Okay, what about on that other side? We're picking the Packers, but what about the Saints? They don't look bad. Derek Carr hasn't looked bad. They've got some weapons on the offense with the Lawrence. Thomas. Look, I said I think he's done as a number one, but as a 2-3 option, he actually looked halfway decent.
So what I've seen is that O-line cannot protect Carr.
It doesn't look great, does it?
And when Carr is under pressure, he's not real great. He folds.
And they're not running the ball all that well.
They're not running effectively. And now with Jamal Williams out, they've got Tony Jones Jr. They've got one more game without Kamara. He can come back next week.
Yeah.
So
we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, the Saints, we said they'd win that division almost by default, if you will, because we thought Atlanta was close but not quite there. Honestly, and I know we're going to get there, but I think we might have overlooked it, and this could be actually a Atlanta-Tampa race more so than anything else. We'll talk about that in a second.
Texans-Jaguars.
Jags running away. They're going to bounce back from the ugly game with the Chiefs, and let's keep moving.
I don't know, man. I think I might. Texans and 9.5 points. I might take that. I don't know.
I'll take
division game.
Put it if you want to put it off to the side, fine. But I'll take the Jags and the points with that one. I like it.
So you think Jags will win by 10 points?
Yep, I do. I think they bounce back in a big way from last week's game.
Panthers, Seahawks.
Seahawks. Yeah, Seahawks.
The line's it's in Seattle. The line is 6.
Nah, I wouldn't touch that. Let's be honest. The Panthers D is legit, right? The Panthers D is legit.
Panthers D's pretty good.
But, and I'll let you elaborate a little bit here, what we're seeing from Bryce Young.
So there's two things. Bryce Young does not have a number one wide receiver. And he does not have an offensive line that can let him sit back and read a defense. Even against the Saints, I saw a couple plays where I'm like, wow, that's a big boy throw. And he got it right on time, got it right to the mark. It was great. But unfortunately, when you don't have the necessary weapons or the time, a guy that's like 5'8" and 190 pounds is going to struggle.
Yeah. Those windows to throw the football close real fast in the NFL. And if you miss one because you can't see it, it's a problem. And right now it looks like he's struggling to find those windows where he can see to throw the
Him and
football.
Adam Thielen are working great together, but that's just because Adam Thielen runs great routes. But other than Adam Thielen, like, he has no chemistry with anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there, but it's not looking great. It's not looking great.
So yeah, I like Seahawks. I probably like Seahawks, and I think they'd win by 7. Like, I think I would be okay with that.
To me, I'm not touching that because I really do like Carolina's D. I thought the Saints were going to hang more on that team because of the offensive struggles, and they just couldn't move the ball as well as I thought they would have. So I'll if you want to put it off to the side and then we can discuss later for yourself, that's fine. I get it. But to me,
if the Seahawks tackles come back this week,
then we might talk a slightly different story. Then I might sway your side, but we'll see. We'll see.
this one, Cowboys and Cardinals,
What's the line?
12.
Dude, I mean, Cowboys in the line. I mean, Cowboys in the point sounds like it's a no-brainer, honestly.
I mean, if the Cowboys don't win this by 20, I would probably be shocked.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's got to be that, right?
I don't see Josh Dobbs moving the ball
at
all on this defense.
Let's go ahead and mark that one up on the old Golden Brick Road, shall we?
Steelers and Raiders.
Steelers by a point. What's the line on this?
It's 2.5. Raiders.
Ooh.
It's in Vegas.
I was going to say, so it's at home for Raiders. Well, I'm staying away from it, first of all, because the Steelers have proven, worst case scenario, they can overcome maybe some bad quarterback play or possibly bad play calling by the offensive coordinator because they got some goddamn weapons on that offensive side of the ball that can just catch one and go to the house, and they can win magically. So I'm not touching it, but I'm going to say the Steelers win this game. That's just what I'm going to go with. Plus, I think TJ Watt and those boys are just nasty.
And this is crazy. We have double Monday Night Football games again. I don't like that.
It's weird. Wait, back up for a second. Is the Jags game over in London?
No, we're not there yet.
When does that
That's
start?
not till like week 5.
I don't have my sheets in front of me right now. When does this start?
October 1st.
So week 5.
Yeah, October 1st.
Okay.
Eagles, Buccaneers.
I mean, the Eagles should run away with this, but the Bucs have looked competent, surprisingly. I think this is the weekend that shows that they're not. And I think Baker gets run through. What's the line?
5. Eagles by 5.
I'll take the Eagles in points. I'll take the Eagles in points all day. What do you think about that?
The Eagles should run away with this game. They really should.
It might
Even though
happen
it's in
late.
Tampa.
It might be a close game for the first half, first 2.5 quarters. But
I mean, the
I
Bears-
have faith the Eagles will run away.
The
with
Bears
this.
stuck with the Bucs for most of the game.
Exactly.
Like it wasn't a runaway.
Look, the Bucs have been competent. They look a little bit better than I thought they would. But Jalen Hurts, he knocked some rust off last week. Swift, I think they're going to start running just a little bit more. He's going to get a little bit more touches going forward.
He's going to get some more work for sure.
Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, are you kidding me? Dallas Goedert, like, come on. That offensive line, Lane Johnson and Kelsey and the boys, like, yeah. Let's take the Eagles and the points on that one.
Rams and Bengals.
Kind of actually want to say the Rams. Seriously, like the Bengals, I don't think have looked good. And even if Joe Burrow does play, I think that calf is an issue, man. and he's not himself. And I actually like the Rams in this game.
So get on the Rams early because the line's it's Bengals by 1.5.
Okay. Yeah, so Vegas is kind of thinking the same thing. They're like, it's in Cincy, so we'll let them win, but we don't feel great about it. Right? It's in Cincy.
Yeah, it's in Cincinnati.
That's the only reason they have the 1.5. I mean, let's be honest right now. Even
Is
Vegas
Burrow
is
questionable?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Is he questionable?
I don't think he's questionable, but I think Vegas kind of look at it like even if he plays, he's not himself, and he could go out at any moment, and then they're screwed. So, and the Rams have looked good. Let's be honest, they've looked good. So until that proves otherwise, I actually like the Rams in an upset, a major upset. That's nasty. Oh my God.
I mean, I bet if you take the Rams on that, I think that'll probably help out quite a bit.
Mark that down. Let's just see what happens. I'm going to leave that off of the Golden Brick Road. Maybe I'll throw it on there. Maybe. We'll see.
I mean, we've got quite a bit on there already.
Yeah, we'll talk. But we'll see. I do kind of like that though. Final thoughts for week 3, Pinky.
You know, I'm pretty excited about the Eagles and Bucks game. Both teams are 2-0, so pretty excited about Falcons and Lions.
Yeah.
I'm super curious about Chargers and Vikings.
Yeah, that one's probably the most interesting game of the week, I think.
Because whoever loses that game is 0-3.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
And then that starts putting you in a pretty big hole.
That's a huge hole. That is a huge hole. So we'll see what happens there. I am excited to see in college and the NFL, actually, to be honest with you, as I'm thinking about it. I'm excited to see some teams start to separate themselves. The rust has been knocked off. They're starting to click. They're starting to show what we thought they were or what we thought they weren't. Those kinds of things I'm excited to kind of start seeing here in week 3. Week 4, for the most part, is still the quarter point of the season. That's when you can really start making decisions. Week 3, you can really start looking at some things and start kind of forecasting out, if you will. So I'm looking for some teams to make that statement. That's what I'm looking forward to this week, and we'll see what happens.
We shall see. I don't think there's anything super juicy in most of these games, but there are some good games on the schedule.
Absolutely. That being said, we appreciate everybody, the love, the support, likes, shares, follows, whatever else they're called. We appreciate all of it.
Comments.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you for tuning in with us. Take that time.
If you guys love the Broncos and you really want to talk about the Broncos, there's like 7 other shows that'll do it for you. Don't forget to check them out. They're pretty good.
Absolutely. My guy, love you. Tuesdays are great. Don't, take those moments with those loved ones, that inner circle, friends, family, whatever you want to call them, for granted. Cherish them. Take advantage of them. We're out. Peace. Enjoy your week.
Let's go Broncos. That was for Clayton.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.